Benet with that rushing touchdown. I mean, they came out pretty strong, but it was the middle of the game that the Rams just seemingly ran away with it. I mean, you talk about
Nakua's different, dude.
I mean, you talk about the Puka Nakua game. 225 yards through the air and 2 TDs. And I remember saying yesterday that Matthew Stafford in most games will not impress you with the yards he has, but he will impress you with how many touchdown throws he has. Well, last night he did both. 457 yards passing, 3 TDs. He plays incredible. And a lot of people are forgetting that Matthew Stafford is not a young guy. And he's going out there.
Old.
He's going out there, and he is playing timeless football right now. But
you had a Blake Corum sighting?
Sure, yes, we did. I mean, but Sam Darnold on the other side, we said that he needed to take care of the rock, and I mean, compared to the last time they played, I guess he did better. He cut down his interceptions by half. He only threw 2 instead of 4 this go around. And I actually think looking at those throws and looking at those interceptions, there was actually it actually solidified what I said about Sam Darnold, that he's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Because if you looked at how those interceptions happened, that was the defense outplaying Sam Darnold. Like they showed disguises, and then they ran and got in front of players and kind of surprised Sam Darnold in those throws, and they were very timely. So definitely Sam Darnold, good quarterback, 270 yards passing, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, and a lot of people thought the one that he threw late in the third quarter, fourth quarter, I can't remember.
Which one, to Barner?
Yes. The last one that was late in the game.
Yeah, that was the third quarter to Barner.
Yeah, third quarter. Everybody thought that was it. That was it. Like they just sealed the game. You know, good old Sam Darnold can't win the big game. All those kind of things. But Sam Darnold still. I mean, he got it going, but I think the biggest thing that was the biggest help for Seattle was their rushing attack. Kenneth Walker III, 11 carries, 100 yards, 1 TD. Zach Charbonnet got on the board first.
We told you, we called it yesterday.
I mean, it was a well-rounded affair, and the fact that this game came down to, I mean, for me, so before I go into it, I want to get your take on the 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion?
Yeah, the 2-point conversion heard around the world.
I mean, for one, it's legit. If you know football, the ball was thrown backwards before anyone can get to it. I think that was Verse tapped the ball. Now that's a live ball. Now the receiver kind of melancholy-ishly kind of picked it up. He's like, the play is dead. What I found strange was there was 2 Rams defenders trying to go for that ball. It seemed like 2 of their guys had enough awareness to know that that ball was at least had an opportunity to still be live. Yeah, and Seahawks guy just kind of randomly picked up like, oh, look what I found. Dummy, you won the game that way, basically. Like,
absolutely. So I would like to take you back to the year that I was born, 2000, 1999, 2000.
For the 99 and the 2000.
99, 2000 season. A little something called the Music City Miracle, where Titans line up against the Bills, and this is the last-ditch effort. The Bills had driven the ball all the way down the field, and all hope seemed lost for Steve McNair and Eddie George's Titans team.
Mr. Wycheck.
And then Wycheck throws that ball. A lot of people said, no, it was forward.
It's straddled. Now watch that conversation there. It's straddled.
A great clarifier that I heard last night is even if the ball is parallel, it is still considered to be a backwards pass, which mathematically speaking doesn't necessarily make sense.
No, but it's football. Mathematically,
yes, mathematically. Football-wise, it makes sense
because you can. I mean, if it progresses, it's automatically dead. I mean,
so in Frank Wycheck's throw to Kevin Dyson, to where he then takes it and scores the touchdown and sends the Titans to the Super Bowl. We will not talk about that. I liked it. I thought that, yes, Sean McVay in his comments after the game, he was sitting there saying, you know, we've never seen anything like that before, and we're not in the business of making excuses, which I thought is a great mindset. He's absolutely right. We don't make excuses. It holds us back. It keeps us from moving forward. But he wanted to get clarification. But I feel like on the field, and I mean, if you actually listen to the game, their rules analyst who came in to the game and broke down what exactly was happening, he even said before the call was on the field, he was saying that was a backwards pass that was then a fumble that went forward, was recovered in the end zone. That was a good 2-point conversion. Then they came out on the intercoms, confirmed that ruling. So I don't think it was that crazy.
It wasn't that crazy. What
really
made it crazy
wasn't.
Just the fact it was a 2-point conversion, and normally people
It was the
stop. Everything dies on a 2-point conversion.
It was the craziest 2-point conversion in history. I mean, a lot of people last night, I know Adam Schefter was tweeting out left and right saying, like, this was the game of the year so far. And honestly, I think it was, because you look at the score going into the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks were running away with it. What was it, 30-14 in that game at that point? I mean, anybody else in that score, in that time frame, is just saying, all right, well, this game's got to be over and done with. But it wasn't, and the Seahawks just kept fighting. They kept coming back. They kept doing what they needed to do. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, we talked about him last night. It took him a while to get in. Took him a while to get into the game, but still ended up with 90.
He had a goose egg in the first half.
He absolutely did. And then in the third quarter, he finally got his first catch, and then from there, he just ran away with it. 8 catches, 96 yards, 1 TD. I mean, he's your guy. He's your guy to go to. He's your guy. You throw it to him. But like we said earlier, the name of the game was Kenneth Walker in that rushing touchdown, his 55-yard touchdown where he broke away. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was poetry in motion.
I think Zach Charbonnet, I don't want to say his runs were more impactful, because if you recall, he got into the end zone first. I think he scored the first touchdown.
Yeah, very first
but
one.
he was very impactful to the point I thought they would forget about him the same way Detroit forgets about Montgomery.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I would take it that far, because Sonic and Knuckles, I mean, when you got the pair like that, it's kind of hard to forget.
Gibson had that 3-game stretch where you kind of forgot Montgomery is there. Then Montgomery broke back out.
Well, it's kind of a give and take with those teams. But when you got a powerhouse like that in the backfield, that's incredible.
You like those boys.
Yeah, well, I certainly
You don't allow nobody to talk about those.
No. But
hey, but last piece, I'm surprised you hadn't brought up how surprised Darnold was on that 2-point conversion that actually won the game. When he saw that wide open in his face, it was like hot ball. It was like, here, please get it and score. Because if you recall, I think he went through maybe 3 of his progressions. Nobody was open. It almost seemed like he was about to scramble, and the heavens opened up, and that tight end showed those hands. I don't think he could throw that ball fast enough.
No, well, I mean, what was crazy about that is that was his first target of the game and his first catch of the game to get that 2-point conversion. Speaking
of that tight end, right? I forget his last name.
Yeah, I cannot remember what it was. What was it?
Of the nobodies of the world.
I mean, yeah, but that was also the exciting part from last night too. Is you had Puka on there for the Rams, and obviously he just went absolutely incredible. But then you got a lot of names of people that you don't necessarily hear. The second best receiver for the Rams was Xavier Smith last night with 2 receptions, 57 yards with a long of 48. I mean, 2 receptions, but 2 really impactful receptions in that game. But that was a really, really good game. And right now, that was step 1 in the 49ers getting 1 step closer to being your NFC leaders right now. What else needs to happen? I believe you need the Bears to win.
The entire NFC, I was incorrect because I looked at it yesterday. I can't go from 10 to 12 wins, blah, but I can end up being number 1 in the NFC West by defeating the Colts this week.
Yeah, you just
need to defeat the Colts.
Oh, that's it. You don't need the Bears to win.
That's for the NFC, but even so, I think we would still maybe we would be second.
Because what is y'all's record right now? I don't know.
10-4.
You're 10-4.
So if we win, we're 11-4, and we would be 5-1 in the division.
Okay. Because the Seahawks right now, with their win last night, 12-3 on the year. Rams are now 11-4. Both still. And last night, Seattle Seahawks claimed a playoff spot. They claimed it. So
they did.
No matter what happens the rest of the season, they're in, which is incredible for this team. And going back to a little bit about what you said, I think in previewing this game last night, we completely forgot to mention Cooper Kupp at all.
No, I did. Maybe that was more or less on Johnny, because I actually thought he would score yesterday.
I think it was Johnny, because yesterday we were talking about, Devontae Adams is going to be out. Puka is definitely going to be in, so it's going to be Puka kind of versus JSN. But the whole thing of having Cooper Kupp out there, now he did have that costly fumble that went the length of the field, which was incredible. But still, like you were saying, veteran guy out there, still doing his job. not doing it as effectively as he did last year, but still a guy out there to watch out for. We definitely had we had another texter come in and says Charbonnet picked up that 2-point ball to tie up the game, which, I mean, that's got to go down in history as... Will it go down in history as the craziest
laziest 2-point conversion? He just kind of nonchalantly picked it up.
Well, because everybody on the field sat there and said, "Oh, play's over."
Yeah, that's what you do on 2-point conversion.
And so he just went and picked up the ball. I think that was the classic move about. I know they've said sometimes in college football and NFL that sometimes they're going to start letting those plays go. Like if it's a fumble and they're not really sure if the guy was down, or if it was a fumble and the guy picks it up and runs it, that they're starting to let those plays go to see how they turn out, see how they develop, to see if that guy goes the distance and gets a touchdown. Then they review it and they see that it was a fumble, then it stands on the field. So I like that direction. I like what they're doing with all that kind of stuff, but we'll just wait and see. Great night for football last night, and we have a lot more to talk about in our last segment of the day. But right now, we have to catch a break, because on the other side, we have to switch gears a little bit and talk about the crazy world of the NBA with Andy Schiffman. That comes your way next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I can't tell you the number of times I've heard people tell me that they wanted to wait until spring to put their home on the market. This is Sheldon Rosengarten at Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and think about it. In March, April, when the azaleas bloom, so do the real estate signs. More competition. We've been in an unusual market in the last year, and to get an edge on other homes on the market, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. I've developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. From the preparation before you go on the market to the presentation and keeping you informed every step of the way, it's rare that we cannot provide results. That's why people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Write it down or call me now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Hi, fellas, it's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and you cannot wait much longer. It's time for action, and you've got to make some decisions now. What are you going to get her? What's going to make her happy? Where are you going to get it? Well, let's make it simple for you. Come see us at Russell Brothers and look at some of the most beautiful jewelry you can find. Look at diamond rings. Look at stacking bracelets or stacking rings. Look for magnificent gold and gemstone earrings, diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and so much more. Let us show you our almost endless options. I promise we can put a smile on her face. For over 40 years at the same location, we've been helping Memphis men make those important decisions. Come let us help you figure it out. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, where service, quality, value, and integrity are our values. Come see us at 4646 Poplar at Perkins. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers.
Hey, it's Brady Cluse, wide receiver at the University of Memphis. On the field, every yard counts. Off the field, every dollar does too. That's why Southern Security Credit Union is your go-to for mortgages. They make home buying simple, fast, and affordable with rates that help you win big. Ready to make your next move? Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 and get started today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of University of Memphis athletics and an equal housing lender.
This holiday season, give a gift everyone loves, a moment to relax. A gift card from Gould Salon Spa is the perfect way to pamper the people on your list, whether it's a massage, a facial, a fresh new style, or a full day of self-care. Pick up a Gould's gift card at any location or shop instantly online at gouldsalonspa.com. Make the holidays brighter for everyone with a Gould Salon Spa gift card. Happy holidays from Gould Spa, locally owned and operated since 1932. The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Hey, maybe some man will take things over. Hey, let's him loose.
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends. Landon Schmidt filling in for Wolo. He is down in Tampa, Florida for the Gasparilla Bowl that's going to be taking place this afternoon between Memphis and NC State. We're about to get a hold of Andy Schiffman here in just a second. But before we do that, Darren and I were talking off air about kind of the craziness when it comes to divisions and records and all that kind of stuff, of how the Rams right now, the Rams and the Seahawks are 3-2 in their division. And I believe the 49ers, Darren's 49ers, is 4-1. So obviously with Thursday Night Football, a lot of that stuff is changing up in the air. And then after Sunday, this next week, all of that will be restructured. But you have to think that on the other side, if San Francisco gets a win and they move to 11-4, they would now still be 4-1. They would now still be, let me pull up the little phone thing here. They would now then be moving up in those polls. So I believe after next week, your 49ers, they need to win. That's first and foremost. If they do that, second in the division,
I think we're in good shape, man. I'm not afraid.
I don't think so too.
Especially with this path. You have the Bears.
And you also got to think about it like this. The fact that you guys have been riddled with injury throughout the start of this year. Now you guys are still in good contention. I mean, it just goes to show how good your 49ers team is.
Absolutely. And you got to think the wholesale changes. Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner hurt. I mean, Bosa hurt. I can go on and on. Yeah. But the savior was Robert Salah, or Salah, however you pronounce it. Welcome home, sir. He's the difference maker.
Hey, I also would not knock Mac Jones out of it because
who?
Mac Jones.
Ah, there you go. Look at you. You okay?
What are you making me say Mac Jones twice for? You
John doesn't pick it up. Crazy, when I do it to John, he doesn't pick it up.
Mac Jones was kind of your savior, but that's all football talk. Right now, we have to get into the NBA, and we are talking NBA with Andy Schiffman right now. A lot of crazy stuff happened last night. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, but Andy, last time that we talked, the NBA Cup was still going on, and you and I both believed, along with, I would say, a majority of mankind, believed that OKC was a shoo-in to win this thing and take the NBA Cup Finals, and they weren't going to lose any time soon. They ended up getting upset by the Spurs. What did you make of the ending of the NBA Cup? Good morning to you.
Morning, guys. Yeah, look, it was very surprising. I did not see the Spurs beating OKC in that semifinal game, and then obviously that New York OKC game was terrific, but just goes to show you the power of Wemby. Even with the Spurs bringing him off the bench, just the difference he made, and really obviously in both games, but OKC, 22 points, 12 trips to the free throw line, 6 for 11 shooting, a plus 21 off the bench, which really helped them get over the hump and beat OKC. So that was pretty surprising. And then, this New York team, I mean, I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. You don't really think about them when you talk about the Thunder or even the Pistons out of the East. But what they're doing, I mean, even last night, they squeaked out a win in Indiana. Jalen Brunson hit the game-winning three at the buzzer. But they are finding ways to win, and it was great to watch in Vegas as well.
Yeah, they've absolutely been doing well. And to your point, they definitely, it feels like they have been flying under the radar a little bit. Do you have any issues or any problems with them being outright about not raising a banner for the NBA Cup like the Lakers did?
No, I appreciate that sentiment. Obviously, their goal is an NBA championship, so there's nothing negative with doing that. But I think that they're sending a broader message to their players and to their fan base. Like, we're not going to celebrate this as we might an NBA championship. We can celebrate it in the moment. We can internally praise our players and obviously be excited about it. But that's a small victory, and they've got the bigger picture of winning a championship. Which, look, I mean, again, you can say this on every team, right? It all comes down to health. But if these guys are healthy, if they have Cat healthy, if they have Jalen Brunson healthy, I mean, I think they're proving that they can really compete. I mean, I would like them over the Pistons in a 7-game series at this point in the season, if you're kind of extrapolating out to the NBA Finals. I mean, they're on a tear right now. Granted, they've kind of played some cupcakes, the Knicks have, but they're finding ways to win. They're 19-7. They're second. Detroit lost last night. Surprisingly, they were making a comeback against Dallas, who's actually playing much better with the return of AD. But I think the Knicks, if you fast forward here the next month or so, they could be atop the East.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I think it is still moderately early in the season, but right now they're playing as good as basketball as anybody else right now. In other action, we've been talking about the Mavericks in their game. I don't know if you heard about this, but the coach for the Pistons, J.B. Bickerstaff, came out and made a claim after their overtime loss, saying that John Goble was supposedly entering this game with bias against the Pistons. He said a lot of stuff about how he was unjustly receiving a technical foul, and Goble said that there was a lot of continual complaining all night. What do you make of this news that there's apparently a biased referee out there?
Look, I mean, if the Pistons would have won, we wouldn't have been even having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So, and J.D. Bickerstaff, obviously people know him from Memphis, former Grizzlies coach, and I know him pretty well. He's coached a lot of our players. He's, I would say, in my experience, one of the more notorious coaches to be very outspoken against refs. And you see that around the league. But again, like, they lost. They lost the game. They should not have lost. And he's trying to place blame, and that's what coaches do. Coaches of good teams, when they falter to teams like Dallas, that's what happens. So I'm not reading too much into it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think after any kind of loss, there's always going to be some kind of finger pointing, which is something that you ultimately want to move away from. But it still does happen throughout the league. But I know we talked a lot about it last week about some of these teams that are just playing incredible basketball. We talked about the Knicks, but last night you saw a great showing from both the Nuggets and the Lakers. And I want to start with the Nuggets because, of course, with Jokic, he hits yet another triple-double. I believe that's 13 on the year for him, which is crazy that he already has 13 on the year. And now he has surpassed Kareem for all-time assists. I mean, what do you make of this?
Again, it's just every single night, right? It's pretty incredible.
It is.
And that game they played last night too against Orlando was a pretty tight game early on. And again, you can put the ball in his hands, and he is a triple threat every single time he touches the ball, and he's the best at what he does. I think the sky's the limit for them. I think as the season goes on, we've talked about it, right? Like, could Denver compete with OKC to get to the finals to really win a championship? I mean, I feel like we say that every year with Denver, and they really can't get over the hump. But I have no reason to believe that can't happen right now. And look, the Lakers are playing great basketball. Now, granted, they played Utah last night. I don't believe Austin Reeves. I think he's still out. And, that was, I think, if I remember correctly, I think they were actually down in that game early, and then Luka just went off. I think he had, 45 points or something like that. But overall, to your point, right, they're playing great basketball. The Lakers are. And we've talked about it. I think you've got a reinvigorated, rejuvenated Luka. You've got Austin Reeves, if he's healthy, and the emergence he's shown and what he can provide for this team, even with the stars of LeBron and Luka, if they're out. You saw that early on in the season. And I think LeBron is kind of paced himself. I think he understands he doesn't need to sit there and score every single time and have the ball in his hands and go out there and drop 40 because he has a pretty good supporting cast around him this year. I think he's still capable of doing it. But again, like, they're another team. I'm not necessarily a buyer for them to make it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, but they're top 4 in the West right now. Again, if they're healthy, like, you never underestimate Luka. When you talk about these top teams in the West, they're all led by MVP candidates. Luka, Jokic, Shea, obviously, speaking in the West, and then obviously Wemby with San Antonio's right there. Like, if you're an NBA fan, that's what you want to see. It's a little bit wonky in the East, right? Because with all these injuries, you've got Detroit, New York, Toronto, and Boston, who no one thought really would be there. Those are the top 4 teams in the East. And you talk about, like, where's Cleveland? Where's Milwaukee? Like, Atlanta usually is a little bit better. They've obviously been without Trae Young for the better part of the season, who just came back last night and struggled in his return. But I think with the West, it's almost like it's as it should be with these star-led teams.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you, and what you were saying about Jokic and Luka alike is yes, they're both playing incredible basketball, but like you said, it's night in and night out. It's the consistency that these guys are showing, and Luka last night, he was told that he was the first Laker to have a 40-point triple-double since Magic Johnson, and Luka kind of just shrugged it off and was just like, I feel like we can do so much better as a team. I mean, his mindset and his mentality this year is surrounded by the team, but he is playing as good as basketball as anybody else. And like you said about this MVP race, where it looks like right now you got Jokic, you've got Luka, kind of the front runners right now. I believe they did an early poll for it, and I believe Jokic got like 99 votes outright, or got a lot of the votes going into it. For right now, between these two guys, who would be your favorite for MVP right now?
I'd probably still give it to Jokic, quite honestly. Yeah. It's just, like you said, he's so reliable. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's missed the time that Luka's missed over the course of his career with injuries. And he goes about it very quietly, which I can always appreciate and respect. Mm-hmm. And not to say that Luka's out there puffing his chest and saying, look at me.
Right.
But I think in terms of a superstar who genuinely only wants to win at the highest level every single night, I think you have to point to Jokic. Mm-hmm. But again, it is early in the season, like we talked about, and I would like to see. I think you could see some dark horses emerge. I mean, we can't overlook Wemby. You'll have to see where the Spurs end up after the trade deadline once we get into the final month of the season. Like, if they're there in the top 3 teams in the West, which they definitely could be if they're healthy, I think you cannot discount Wemby. And then you go to the East, what New York is doing, like we've already talked about, Jalen Brunson. Yeah. You have to bring him up in conversation. I don't necessarily I wouldn't say Cade Cunningham is in my conversation just yet.
Right.
Granted, the Pistons are doing great.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think of him as like an MVP candidate just yet. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day. But it's exciting to kind of see these teams that, again, like Toronto. We're not talking about Toronto. They're third in the East. Yeah. These teams that are historically bottom feeder teams, and within a short amount of time, relatively speaking, you're talking about the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, all of a sudden the standings flip-flop, and you have teams, like a New York, like a Toronto, like a Detroit, even Orlando, they're competing, right? These are teams that were not playoff contenders a short time ago. New York, maybe a little bit. They've continued to get better. Mm-hmm. But as other teams, I mean, it's pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I like how you mentioned how about the trade deadline, because another superstar in the league that's got a lot of rumors surrounding his name is Giannis, and right now he says that he's primarily focused on getting healthy and being there for his team, but of course there's still a lot of speculation about his future with the Bucks. Do you potentially see a move for Giannis, or is his best fit still in Milwaukee?
Well, I don't know if his best fit is in Milwaukee, just because they are struggling and losing, and he wants to go out there and be on a contending team, and right now Milwaukee is not that, right? Mm-hmm. But I think if you're the front office of the Bucks, you're not going to just kowtow to Giannis and his representation and just give him away for nothing. If you can't find a trade that sets your organization up that much better for the future, where you can compile first-round draft capital, you can compile maybe some young, up-and-coming talent that you can develop who might be on rookie contracts, and then you create a surplus of cap space to use in free agency. If you can't get a variety of those things or all of those things, don't trade him. You can very clearly just wait until the summer, trade him then. It's easier to trade him in the summer because then you can combine multiple contracts. Contract aggregation is what it's referred to. So it's not for me to say something could happen prior to February. Mm-hmm. I've heard that Dallas is one of the landing spots on Giannis's wish list. I think he sees the attraction of playing with Cooper Flagg. Yeah. That one's surprising to me, but I can see that being a possibility. I'm not quite sure what Dallas would do there and how they would make that work. I mean, Kyrie would have to be involved with that in some way, shape, or form, I think, given the numbers. So, look, I'm not panicking if I'm a Bucks GM. I'm just being patient, and obviously they're getting calls on Giannis, but, again, you can't be in a position to just give them away. So, I think it's 50-50 whether we see Giannis in Milwaukee after the trade deadline this year or not.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. Just a couple more things for you, Andy. We got word that Kevin Garnett is rejoining the Timberwolves, not as a player, that would be crazy, but he's joining as a team ambassador. What do you make of this news?
I think that's great for the Timberwolves organization. Does that affect my daily life? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
but good for them. I mean,
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
like to see legends and Hall of Famers stay around the game, and especially with KG staying connected to a team that he played for the better part of his career, where he started his career out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's exciting if you're a Timberwolves fan.
Yeah.
What does ambassador mean? Who knows? Who cares? Good for Minnesota.
I absolutely agree with you. Definitely is not going to impact our day to day, but still exciting news if you're a Timberwolves fan to have a legend back with them. But last thing for you, just talking a little bit of Grizzlies. They play again this Saturday against the Wizards. What should Grizz fans expect to see from this game?
Well, the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the NBA.
They very much are.
And the Grizzlies are coming off of a good win against the Anthony Edwards-led Timberwolves team a couple days ago, and I watched that one. So, again, if you're a Grizzlies fan, you should see the Grizzlies pummel the Wizards, tomorrow night at home. But we've seen unique things happen in this league. I have watched the Wizards win games this season they had no business winning.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the same for the Pacers. I can say the same for the Nets, who are also bad teams. And I've seen teams, even last night, Dallas beating, now granted it was at home, but Dallas beating the Pistons, would have never have thought that. So I think for the Grizzlies, you cannot take it for granted whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wizards, they've got 4 wins in the season, right? They're not trying to win.
Yeah.
I think the Grizzlies, they are trying to win. They're trying to turn this thing around. So they have to defend. They have to defend the 3 because they get a lot of guys on that team that love the jack-up shot. DJ McCollum's there as well. They got to rebound. They got to defend the 3, and they should come out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Grizz fans kind of learned the hard truth last week in an upset win or an upset loss against the Jazz, of how it still is the NBA, and you can never truly overlook any kind of opponent because you never know what's going to happen each and every single night. But Andy, that's all the time we have. Next time we talk to you, Christmas will have come and gone. So very Merry Christmas to you. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
You too, guys. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. That is our friend Andy Schiffman. Real quick, we have to hit a break because on the other side, the guy who's actually at Tampa right now, Jonah Dillon's going to join us, give a little bit of a preview of the game, get us excited for the Tigers taking on NC State here this afternoon. That comes your way next on Wolo and Friends.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Is it just me, or has watching TV gotten way more complicated than it used to be? There are a million different services, lots of stuff you want to watch but can never find, and don't get me started on the bills. Well, thankfully there's Philo, a better way to TV. For as low as $33 a month, I get the channels I love. MTV, BET, Food Network, you name it. Plus everything that AMC Plus has to offer. And guess what? They've added access to HBO Max Basic with ads plan and Discovery Plus. So I can enjoy all the best TV with one subscription. The best part? There are no contracts, no surprise fees, and just one low price. And their DVR is awesome too. I can save everything I love on Philo for up to a year and skip the ads when I rewatch them. That's a total game changer. I signed up directly at philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv so I could lock in the best price around. Philo's the easiest decision I've ever made. Now the hard one is trying to decide what to binge next.
It's a holiday experience like no other. The Light Garden at Olive Branch City Park. It's a walk-through entertainment extravaganza with hundreds of giant 3D Christmas light displays, photos with Santa, LED mini golf, a Lego shop, food and drinks, and special event nights, including fireworks on New Year's Eve. Bring the family out nightly through January 1st. Go to lightgarden.online for details and tickets. Plus, stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM for chances to win tickets to the Light Garden in Olive Branch.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends. Landon Schmidt right now filling in for Wolo, who is currently at Tampa at the Gasparilla Bowl as the Tigers get set to play the NC State Wolfpack here in just a second, and we will be talking to our man Jonah Dillon really quick because we're short on time, and I'm sure he's got a billion things to do down there, but we are always joyed to have Jonah on the airwaves with us. Jonah, how are things going down in Tampa right now?
Good. It's a sunny day in Tampa. It's a beautiful winter day, I guess. That's what it's like, and ready to watch some football.
Yeah, as well, I guess as winter as you can get in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah,
definitely a different kind of feel there. Well, what can you tell us about the setup for the game? How is everything looking on the Tiger side of things?
Yeah, I saw there was some kind of a block party thing. The NC State band, the Memphis band, everybody kind of out doing the thing. Like I said, it is a good spot for a bowl game because you can, as long as there's no rain, you can trust the weather. There's some bowl games where the weather can get kind of nasty, but obviously this one, outdoor game, NFL Stadium, should be pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely has all the makings for a great event. And, for Darian and myself over here, we woke up to 30-degree weather. It is still sunny, but, definitely cold. So definitely a little bit jealous of the Tampa weather you're getting to experience right now. For the Tigers, has there been any news on a potential starting quarterback? Is there any news on if we're going to see Arrington Maiden, or is Brandon Lewis going to be our guy?
Yeah, I would expect Brandon Lewis to play. I would expect kind of the same thing we've seen throughout most of the year. Haven't seen a ton of people announcing they're going to opt out or anything like that, or go in or leave because they're going to go in the portal. Obviously, no one can go in the portal until January 2nd.
Yeah.
So I would expect pretty normal. I think the theme of this day for Memphis is going to be this is the last chance for the seniors and for a lot of these coaches who know they're going to be coaching elsewhere next year. It's kind of just like this is the end, but we're going to approach this like it's part of the season. Some teams will approach a bowl game like it's let's play young players and see what we have. Obviously, with this Memphis team, this is the end. So I don't think we're going to see that as much. I think it's going to be about kind of supporting everyone who's been at Memphis.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think that's the most exciting part for me about these bowl games is because, like you mentioned, there are so many teams that have players that'll opt out and that'll be looking more towards declaring for the transfer portal and leaving. And I think the fact that you're basically going to get Memphis and NC State alike both having a majority of their guys basically at full strength, this should be a very interesting bowl game to see. I believe, unless I've heard differently, we're going to have all of our running backs in, so it should be a tightly contested matchup. What are you looking to see from this game today?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the offensive system is going to look like for Memphis. Obviously, I don't expect any major changes, but they did lose their offensive coordinator and 3 offensive coaches, and you've got co-offensive coordinators, whatever you want to call it, with Brad Salem probably being the one calling the plays into the headset. Brendan Lewis can have a different voice in his head. That's obviously something to kind of monitor. I don't think he's not going to come in and they're not going to change the entire system, but they're down coaches, right? And so I think it's going to be interesting how that plays out. And then just kind of the motivation, what we see from both of these teams in terms of, for Memphis, obviously winning a game against a power conference team is always motivation. So I think we're going to see that. Whereas NC State, let's see how they come out. Let's see what it looks like early on, and then kind of evaluate from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've talked about this before of how NC State has kind of had an up and down season, so you never really know what you're going to get. But I'm glad you mentioned the whole offensive coordinator kind of looking ahead for Memphis. What did you make of this news that Memphis is expected to hire Old Dominion's Kevin Decker as its next offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it was big news, obviously, because it was the kind of biggest question mark we had about Charles Huff's staff, knowing that a lot of the defensive guys were expected to come from Southern Miss. A lot of those guys came with Charles Huff from Marshall to Southern Miss, but the offensive staff was obviously going to be different. And Kevin Decker's, rising star type offensive coordinator, really interesting, really crazy connection that he played in New Hampshire, and his offensive coordinator when he was a quarterback there was Tim Cramsey.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So obviously, if you were a New Hampshire quarterback, you're in line to eventually be Memphis's offensive coordinator, I guess. So let's go next time there's an offensive coordinator vacancy, I'll just get up a list of former New Hampshire quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a really interesting one. I mean, he's someone, obviously. Old Dominion had a lot of success offensively this season. They're one of the best offenses in the country, and so that's going to be one that obviously Memphis's success is going to hinge on how that kind of translates here and how the system is, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and to that point, we saw Old Dominion kind of just rout USF in their Ventures or the Cure Bowl, I believe is what they played in, and you saw their offense at high powered, even with both teams without their starting quarterbacks. You still saw a really good Old Dominion team out there. So should be very exciting news to tune in for Memphis Tigers next year with Charles Huff. Now we've got Kevin Decker coming on board as our offensive coordinator. Should be a lot of things to be looking forward to. But Jonah, that's all the time we have over here. I know this is a rather quick segment, but I'm sure you've got a lot to do because it's bowl day today. So enjoy Tampa, enjoy the game, and we'll be watching from Memphis.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And also, Merry Christmas to you. I know by the time next time we talk, Christmas will have come and gone. So Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy your week, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you again next week.
Appreciate it. You as well.
All right. That is our friend Jonah Dillon. And that's all the time we have for today. I believe we're actually 10 seconds before 11 o'clock, which is rare to do over here, but still an exciting time. Darian, your 49ers look good. Western Michigan looks good. I don't really know how their rushing attack's been going, but they've been doing a very good job. They are up 27-0 over Kennesaw State. So sorry to hear that about the Owls, because we'll always be keeping a close eye on Jerry Mack with his ties to Memphis. But for Darian, for Jonah, for Andy, for all of us here, we hope that you guys have a great weekend. Please tune in to the Gasparilla Bowl. And like always, we know that Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is next. From Darian, myself, have a great day, everybody.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of